Hey guys, OG Albino here, bringing you guys another Sword and Shield Wi-Fi battle. Today, we're going to be going up against 6-foot hacks or Leo, and it should be a really fun one. We're bringing a pretty cool team that I have not used yet. It doesn't have any crazy flashy Brokemons like Pharaoh or Lando Eye or any of those crazy things that are still out in the tier, but it's a really cool like team centered around grassy terrain and mons functioning under that. We have like Scarf Cart, which is obviously really scary with terrain boosted Scarf Leaf Blades. We have Terrain Extender, Brillaboom, a bunch of cool stuff, but definitely go check out my opponent in the description below. I'm sure you know who Leo is if you're watching my stuff, but if you for some reason don't, he obviously makes really great content and he's been at it in this game for a long time. So definitely go give him a look. He's definitely one of my favorite people to watch. And if you're new here, be sure to drop a sub. I'd really appreciate it. It's really easy. You just click a button and you're subbed to the channel. You can always change your mind later, but it would really help me push towards my goal of 400 by the end of the year, and I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. But yeah, now let's finally jump into the battle. See exactly what Mr. 6-foot Hacks is rolling with right here. Regieleki, Glastrier. Whoa, this is a crazy ass team, dude. Regieleki, Glastrier, Pheromosa, Toxapex, a Jirachi, and a Landorus. Crazy ass team. Our Nidoking lays down the Schmeat on Mr. Leo. It's actually brutal how well it does in this matchup. I think I'm going to lead off with Torn, just because I can throw a pretty free knockoff on everything minus the Regieleki, and other than that, I can kind of just go for, and if the Regieleki is led, I just go hard Nidoking, like very easily, and what do you call it, get up my rocks, which is obviously pretty dope. This is a crazy ass team though. Our Raikou goes nuts in this matchup. If we can get it behind a sub, I think it does really well. So that's obviously something else to keep note. We kind of lose to Pheromosa. If we can get rid of the Toxapex, then V-Crate is really, really free, which is cool. Bolt Strike is actually pretty free as well, outside of Landorus, so if we can get rid of that thing, that's obviously awesome. And yeah, we don't have great Ice Resists, so the Glastrier is going to be a big problem. Maybe I should have led with an Ice Resist. But that'll be okay. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. It's cool to see that thing, though. I'm actually really excited to play that, but good luck with Leo. Hopefully we can pick up another dub. And yeah, let's see what he leads off with. He is going to lead off with Meowmix, which is Big Landorus Schmandorus. I'm just going to click knockoff. I think it's super free at this point. Edge won't knock me out from full. I am bulky Torn. And I'll be able to gauge some damage on this thing. Defog away any rocks if that's what he wants to do. He's like a weird lead explosion set. I'll be able to deal with that as well. And we'll be in a pretty good spot. So I'm just going to knock off here. It is pretty free. There's not much that wants to switch in and take said knocked off. We are faster. We are going to be able to knock off its leftovers, which is awesome. And he's going to U-turn. So getting rid of that Lando's, residual recovery is awesome for things like Nidoking, because we're actually not hacking Ice Beam on that set, which is pretty scary. But, sick. We're going to be able to knock that thing off. He's going to U-turn out probably into his Regieleki or into his Glastrier. Glastrier? I don't know how to say those names yet. And I'm like waiting for more people to talk about them in videos so I can watch them and see exactly what they're even saying. What's that speck on my shoulder? Which shoulder is it on? Damn, it's just a speck. Okay. So we're in a tough spot here. Regardless, we're going to U-turn. I don't think he's Scarf Glastrier, and I don't think Scarf Glastrier ever comes close to outspeeding Torn. So we should be chilling to at least get this U-turn chip off, which is pretty nice, I will say. We're going to pivot out. And this puts me in a tough spot. I kind of have to go Victini. He can make the play and go for a high horsepower. I'm just kind of screwed if he does. So that's obviously scary. We are Shiny Victini. Haha, we're on land, so we get to use Shiny Victini. So Icicle Crash is going to pop. Let's see how much damage this does. That does a lot. So what I think I'm going to do... Oh. Definitely not going to double. If I predict switch, I'm going to freaking just U-turn. Something I want to do... Do I want to go for a Bolt Strike Raw? Not really. Something I can do is just go right for a V-Create, gauge damage on the Pex, and then pivot out into like a Raikou or something like that afterwards, which is obviously pretty clutch. So he's gonna withdraw. I could have U-turned, but this at least, you know, gives me a little bit of information. He is gonna go into Pex. We'll be able to see if it's Rocky Helmet, if it's leftover. I mean, Black Sludge, a bunch of different things. We'll be able to see shiny Victini popping out with that V create. That's definitely physically defensive. That did nothing. So that's scary. We're gonna take helmet damage. We are not. I'm gonna go Torn as a mid ground in case he like Toxics or something. Or knocks off. I don't want my Raiku's lefties knocked. Because if we can get up a sub, we are chilling in this matchup. We are absolutely chilling. So that would obviously be really cool. But I can go Torn. I can throw off a pretty free knockoff. And be in a good spot. So we're gonna go Torn. Tornadus Therian. And we'll be able to pivot around this thing. It is gonna go for a Toxic. Yeah, I figured. That's fine. With our regen, we should be in a decent spot. So a Toxic is gonna pop there. That's whatever. I do kind of want to knock off this thing's item, whatever it may be. Kind of want that gone. So we are going to knock off. He can knock off our boots as well, but I'm not as threatened, I don't think. This thing potentially losing his item, which is cool. Now my question is, I want to get my Raikou in for free on this thing. I don't want it to knock off my item. So it's Shuka. They're going to Scald. I think this turn I'm going to U-turn. That was a crit, whatever. I'll just regen it off. Don't think that matters too much. It gives us a little bit less HP back when we U-turn right here. But I am going to U-turn. I'm really scared to go into my Raikou, man. I'm so terrified to go into Raikou. Haha. I need to keep this thing around, though. No reason not to. So we are going to U-turn. Put this thing down a little bit. And I don't want to get burned either. Ugh. Puts me in a bad spot. So this thing is Recover Toxic. Scald. Part of me really wants to go Raikou here. But I feel like it might be a bad play. I don't want to go Rillaboom either. This puts me in a tough spot. I really don't want to get Toxic. I feel like he might call me going for the U-turn to get my regen back and go for a Toxic. So I'm going to make the aggressive play into Nidoking. Worst comes to worst, this is just not too bad. I'm just going to Scald. Fortunate, whatever. We'll chew this. Still a neat. I mean, like, it's still a Toxpex. And from here, do I want to make a double expecting the big landers to come out? Or do I want to get up my rocks? Part of me very much so wants to get up my rocks. Does anything really hate them on his team, though? Not really. So I can go for a flamethrower, because it's like permanent damage on the landers. And it covers like a really weird aggressive play into the Glastrier. So I'm assuming Landers is going to come out. Stacy, what is this? Die. That's fire. Okay, well, down this thing goes. That's amazing, actually. This thing is a big, big threat to our team. Down it goes. That is awesome. Things I will take. That is amazing. So Nidoking picking up a KO. I did this as a middle ground just because I felt like, if anything, he was making a play trying to expect me to go for Ice Beam. Or an Earth Power. And again, he could have gone Landers on the Earth Power, but like, he's also looks to be a bulky Lander, so if we do have Ice Beam, it's kind of screwed. And I figured that wouldn't be in his best interest to do so. So, right here, he is going to go into his Victini. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my... I mean, he's going to go into his Jirachi. I'm going to go into my Victini, and I'm going to click U-turn. I don't think you T-Wave here if you have it. If anything, you might go for Rocks. Make the aggressive play. And the way you brought that in also makes me think you might be Scarfed. And we are both Scarfed. I like my odds a little better, so I'm going to U-turn. If he outspeeds me, then that obviously tells me that he's also Scarfed. and puts me in a pretty good spot in that sense. So if I beat the talk specs, it's just gonna Iron Head. That's what we're going for. All right. I'm still gonna U-turn. I don't think that's a good play, but whatever. So we're gonna win the tie that time. If I just V-created, that shit was gone. Whatever. Could go cart. Pretty freely. I mean, if this thing's Scarfed Iron Head, what really switches in on my Leaf Blade at this point? Landorus, I guess? And I want to position my, what do you call it, to win in the end game. I can just stuff a free Leaf Blade right here. There's no reason for me to knock. You're not staying in. You're going to go Landorus. I'm going to potentially 2-hit KO you, or I'm going to chip you down like crazy. To where Scarf Cart can actually win in the end game as well later on. With a potential knockoff or something. But we're going to be a Leaf Blade right here. Do a little bit of damage. And we'll go from there. 1 second, I got a call. Sorry, my pops is calling me from the front room. So, knowing him, it was probably him asking me if I could get the dogs and bring them inside. Or let them out, one of the two. But we'll just double check and make sure that he doesn't, you know, really need something, just in case. As we're gonna go Torn here. Gonna U-turn, it's fine. Again, this Landorus is super chipped at this point, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. As I fear the Glacier is going to come out, and that's not fun. Don't like that at all, actually. So, what do I do to really stop that? Good question. So we're gonna U-turn out on this Glacier. Or something I could do is just go for a Hurricane and try and chip this thing down, but I feel like Torn is still very, very useful. Something that I could do is U-turn out into my Victini, as I feel like don't really need it. I do have double Scarf, so I still have means of momentum. I mean, of speed control in my Scarf Cart. And this covers that. It also covers him going for an Ice Clash. We may still live that. If he's like a banded set, he might, you know, think twice about locking into something versus me. The way he's thinking makes me think he's probably banded. And that first Ice Clash did do a lot. But again, I don't really know calcs on this thing yet, so I'm honestly kind of stumped against this thing. This thing's very good versus me. I'm bringing Grassy Terrain offense. And unfortunately, a lot of my Pokemon are weak to Ice. As per the Grassy Terrain, or weak or neutral. I don't have an Ice resist on this team outside of Victini, and we're not a very bulky set. So we're gonna go Teeny. Ice Crash is gonna pop. Is it gonna hit? Yes. But we're gonna live, which is awesome. And do I expect this thing to stay in? And if so, what do I really do about it? I could Zen Headbutt as a middle ground play. I like that. It covers the pecs. So I could have U-turned again, but not too big of a deal. He's going to go pecs, and this is a 2-hit KO. So I think he's going to be forced to pivot out into the whatchamacallit, the Rachi. So I'm going to make a double into Cart. And I get a free knockoff, which is awesome. So we're going to double. I'm assuming he doesn't just give us this Pokemon. He should go into his Rachi. He knows we're Scarfed. Yeah, so he is going to pull the switch. I'm assuming into Jirachi. I would have loved having rocks up at this point, but I'm still fine with killing that Pheromosa. I still think that's super valuable itself. So I'm going to knock off. If he gives me the Scarf on this thing, phenomenal. Because I still think that my Raikou can win, especially if I can get rid of the Scarfer. So he is going to give it to me. This thing should die. Hell yeah, it does die. So down goes Zidarachi. We are going to be at +1, which is great. And yeah, there's no Scarfers on the team, at least in my mind. I don't see any, super likely ones at this point. He's gonna go Landers. Landers Oko me with anything? No, but like... I'm gonna go Torn. It punishes like a weird defog play. I mean, like an EQ play. A weird EQ play. That would obviously be fair. It would 2-8 KO Cart from here. But I want to keep Cart around. I'm obviously Scarfed, so... Knocking into knock versus a new item Landorus isn't very beneficial for me. There's right here. Do I think he wants to take the damage? The answer is no. Do I think he has a switch into Hurricane? The answer is no. So I am just going to click Hurricane. He is going to switch, but that's fine, honestly, isn't it? Tickle the, what do you call it? The Pex is going to come in. We're going to Hurricane. We are going to land. Does not look to be a 2-8 KO. But I think we force him into a recover turn here. So I'm going to U-turn. Keep my guy healthy. Literally no reason not to. And I think that gives me free reign to go into my Raikou and start going for game. So we are going to U-turn. Nice and crit U-turn. Pretty fire stuff. Only lucky and bad out here. We don't actually win games. I'm going to make the play. I'm finally going to go Raikou. I just feel like it's my best play at this point. I've tried to hide it for so long because I don't want it to get toxic. Do not toxic me. Yep. Let's go. Okay. Great positioning from here. Honestly, great positioning from here. What does he have left? Yeah, Lecky. Okay, I'm going to sub. We're going to sub up. I think we should kill Landorus from this range, too. Story. It's going to be this thing. I wonder how much I do to you. Might as well just throw off a Scald. I think Scald's pretty free at this point. I'll be able to gauge a little bit of damage. And then we have a free Nidoking. Which honestly makes me want to call his double. So he's going to Thunderbolt. This is Breakout sub. It does. This thing's pretty strong, man. Despite it being super ass, it's pretty strong. So I'm just going to Scald. Nice and burn. Now, I think I really want to call his double. This obviously will not kill me. I'm a Raikou. You will not kill me. So I think I'm going to call his double into Landorus. Expecting my Regieleki. No, he didn't. Okay, that's fine. God, that's fucking strong, dude. But I'm going to be able to Scald and take this thing out. So that's obviously dope. Scald Raikou. Put in the work. We're not in an awful position. Raikou can still win. We just need to get a free positioning in on that Pex, and we're chilling. I don't think Pex breaks our sub with Scald. I just want to double check. Okay. Toxapex. So I'm definitely going to save this thing. Another thing I can do is just sweep with Scarf Leaf Blade. At a certain point. What do I not need? I don't think I need Victini, so I'm just going to go Victini and sack it off. And yeah, we'll go from there. So Victini's gonna drop here. Icicle Crash is gonna pop. I would have loved for that to not hit, but we do not hope for hacks here, unfortunately. And from here, this thing's gonna get a Chilling Neigh boost, which is pretty darn scary. But I think I can go Cart. No, not Cart. Why would I go Cart right now? I think I can go Nidoking and deal with this thing this way. Because nothing really switches into Flamethrower plus Earth Power at this point. So Nidoking proving to be a really cool niche breaker in this early Sword and Shield meta. Or early, what do you call it, meta? Flamethrower will chunk the hell out of that Landorus coming in too. We still have our Torn for it, so not the biggest steal in the world. We are going to stay in, we're going to use Flamethrower. So this should put it in range of Raikou. Another Icicle Crash is going to pop. Hell yeah. Okay, and then I want to see to a max HP Landorustherian. Scald. How much are we doing? I think I can go Cart too and try and sweep with Cart. At least get a bunch of damage off on that Landorus and, you know, win that way. So we could get a Scarf Cart sweep, especially if he gives us this Pokemon. I think that's pretty fair. But I'm just going to Leaf Blade, as it hits literally everything. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I think we should win, though. I'm pretty sure we should win. So that's going to give us the +1. We're going to get our boost. Get up to +1. And then Lando can come in, but it's back at neutral. It just puts us back at neutral is what I mean. And I can just kind of keep spamming Leaf Blade. And the moment I get any damage on this thing, it is in range of Raikou Scald. If it's like a max HP variant. Which is something I want to cover. So, if he stays in and tries to, you know, knock us off, Earthquake, something like that, yeah, we should seal the game like this at this point. As it is going to Earthquake, that is once again fine. We should just be able to win this game, pretty much no matter what we do. I don't really see a scenario in which we do not. But I'm just going to keep clicking Leaf Blade until I die. Get a free switch into Raikou. And go from there. Kartana's going to get up to +1. If Kartana doesn't win, which it may not, I don't think it OHKO's Big Pecs, we'll get to win with Raikou. Because this thing won't be able to out-recover us ever. And get up to a range where Raikou doesn't kill it. And we should be able to 8KO it regardless. And even sub up on it if, you know, things do get dicey with the recovers and stuff like that. So it should be a GG. It should be. And yeah. So out comes the Pecs. This definitely won't OHKO it. Kartana's strong, but Pecs is bulky as hell. But it puts us in a position to win. And I don't think a +1 cart can be recovered on by a neutral target. That's for sure. And yeah. Let's go ahead and just hopefully wrap this one up. So we are going to use Leaf Blade. Yeah, that does a lot. And that's also risking crits and stuff. So even if this kills us or burns us, whatever, does not. So Cart is going to be able to clean this one up, which is awesome to see. We are going to be able to Leaf Blade, knock out the Toxapex, and that is a GG's to Mr. Leo. Definitely a really, really fun one. It was cool to see, you know, this terrain team that I built by myself actually do pretty well in a battle versus a pretty competent player. So that's obviously awesome. Nidoking put in the work. Cart put in the work. Raikou put in the work. Torn did Torn things. You can't really ask for much more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Drop a like on the video if you haven't done so already. And if you're new here and you haven't subbed, what are you doing? Click the sub button. I'd really appreciate it. Definitely go check out Leo's side. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Later.